What is that?
It's my bone.
God damn it, Cartman!
How would you like to suck my balls?
What did you say?
I'm sorry. Actually, what I said was... How would you like to suck my balls, Mr. Garrison?
Holy shit, dude.
Welcome back to another episode of Suck My Balls. Like, people are gonna think, like, what the hell was wrong with those guys? Ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another edition of Check My Balls, a Shack Pack review. No, me and Ian did not get coronavirus, and that's why we're doing this show separately again. We live in different states, so I was just out in Arizona visiting. If you're a returning listener or viewer, this is maybe only your second time. We appreciate you coming back to another edition of Suck My Balls. If you're, of course, a longtime listener, brand new listener, welcome. My name is Matthew Schaffer. I'm your host of the most lives on the West Coast, your boy MSG, and I am joined each and every week by my boy Ski Jackson. What's up, dude?
My mic fell. Or, well, the thingy. Anyway.
You're what?
Fuck, I gotta unclip this thing. The battery for my mic. It, like, fell off and I caught it. And if it falls, it'll rip it off my shirt. My clip is kind of broken.
Oh, well, I'm glad that you're loud. You should maybe position your mic just a little bit under your chin more, just like, parallel it to your nose. Like, try to line it up under your mouth to nose, the bridge of your nose, tip of your nose. Anyway, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. As this show's already off the rails, to another edition of Suck My Balls, South Park. That's not the one.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, because I don't want to get into the engineering aspect of the cardioid aspect and how big the area of Anyway, so the format for Suck My Balls. As I pulled this up here, this is our format, number 35, and season 3, episode 2, The Succubus.
We've told you to suck our balls 35 fucking times.
Well, actually, if we've said at least 100, over 100, I mean, come on, at this point.
Come on, man. Suck
Okay.
our balls.
We probably said almost 100 times maybe in an episode. I don't know. That'd be a lot. Should we have a counter? Like, do like the one night of Suck My Balls where we just try to get in and suck my
like that episode of shit?
Yeah, that'd be interesting.
With that episode. Oh, shit.
Oh, interesting.
Shit.
Well, in this episode, guys, our buddy Chef is the main storyline here. There's not really a lot of secondary storylines. It follows one main plot. I mean, we kind of get a little bit of Garrison side stuff here, but realistically, it's the boys in locked in a battle with life, and so it seems. But in the end, South Park does show us that it was a succubus the whole time, as Chef becomes engaged to a seemingly pleasant woman. First time we've ever seen her. And
excuse me.
Cartman is also going to be having a bad time with his eye doctor. But the reason why we say it's still the main storyline is because Cartman's like weaving in and out with his side little eye doctor thing. But let's talk about it, because Cartman goes to the eye doctor and has to wear essentially what ends up happening is he's taking the first test right as the show opens.
Hello, Eric.
Hi, Dr. Light.
How's my little piggy today?
Hey, don't call me a little piggy.
I just say that because you're my little buddy.
I'm just here for an exam, all right? Keep the fat jokes to yourself.
Hop up on the chair. Don't break it now.
God damn it.
Just kidding. Let's see how your eyes are doing. All you have to do is read the letters. Can you see the letters?
Yes?
All right, read them out for me.
I am a little piggy.
He's like, "Come on in, little piggy." Hey, another piggy. And he keeps like, another piggy. Yeah, doctor, if you call me piggy one more time, I'm going to reach out of this chair and I'm going to rip your balls off with my bare hands.
Okay, little piggy.
He was not happy about being called. And you know what? Rightfully so. Have you ever had a douchey doctor, whether it be past or present, to where you just wanted to be like, oh my God, I don't like this doctor?
Hmm. Can't say that I have yet. Keyword being yet.
Go ahead, repeat that.
Keyword being yet. No, I haven't. I don't think I have. I'm trying to think, but I don't really remember a doctor, and I'm just like, man, that dude was a dick. Like, been a couple nurses that seemed like they didn't give a fuck, you know. I mean, there was one time I was sick, and the doctor was just like, "Here's some weird cough medicine and sent me on my way." But I was like, "I'm not coughing."
I have had horrible sometimes encounters with medicine, people in the professional medicine field. I got fired by a therapist once, which I didn't even think was possible. You know, your therapist can fire you.
Yeah.
I didn't know.
Oh, if we're talking that, then yeah, there's a couple of psychologists and shit that are just fucking assholes. Like one tried to put me in a straitjacket. Tried to say that I was crazy because I said that I have like two voices of reason, one for heart and one for mind. And he was like, you're going in a straitjacket. It's like, what the fuck?
You're like, that's your inner conscious, bro. And like,
yeah, like you're gonna tell me that your mind is like is one with your conscious? No, like your mind is like a scientist.
Your mind is just millions of ideas and thoughts. Like maybe that's what you were trying to say is like you have one thought of, but you at the time you didn't know how to express it. So he was like, "This guy's hearing two voices in his head."
Exactly. That's what he told my mom. He was like,
you know what I mean?
He was like, he has what are those?
Schizophrenic.
Yeah, he was telling my mom that I had schizophrenic tendencies and stuff, and we needed to get me institutionalized because he said that I hear two voices in my head. And then when my mom asked me and I explained it to her, she was like, "Oh, okay, well we're getting a new doctor."
That's funny. No, I've had that experience where it's a bad therapist, but no, dude, I could tell you I had one time I had like a Grey's Anatomy moment. Where like you explode and you have one of those moments where it feels like you're in an emotional drama. And I was at the dentist, bro, and I was in an immense amount of pain. And I got like shuttled through like a fucking farm animal. Like to the point where like now I after sitting there for 30 minutes of pain, going inside waiting and talking to the dentist for 20, 30 minutes in pain, sitting back out. Then they sent me back outside. So now I'm sitting back outside. It's been 90 minutes and they're not even helping me, bro. So finally, I just got pissed. And I just fucking stood up, bro. And I just started fucking like laying down all this bullshit about how is it possible that I'm paying this much of money for medical services. I quietly go through the whole process. I'm in an immense amount of pain and I'm still fucking sitting out here on the fucking floor, not helped. And I just kept going in, bro. I swear on everything, Scoop, 30 to 40 doctors and nurses came out on the floor. There was security in the background and shit, but like they came out and they were all listening. And if somebody had filmed this shit, it was like an episode of Grey's Anatomy. You know how like that character in the episode has that one climactic moment where they have this huge speech or whatever, and then they usually do something crazy, I just didn't do the crazy part.
They were waiting for you to do something crazy. That's why they were watching. They're like, yes, he's going to do something crazy. Like you turn around and try to run out and you like smack into the door or something like.
No, I just sat back down. I was like, this is bullshit. I'm in pain. That guy just kept hitting him. And finally, the whole fucking owner of the hospital came and got me help. So like, sometimes you got to be an asshole to get your needs, man. Like, I feel like that's what America is, though. Like, if you don't want to be an asshole, you're not going to get what you want.
To the most part, yeah.
I mean, you know what I mean? It's a sad way of reality, but in anything, like if you don't get the things that you want or you don't threaten some sort of if you threaten something that's not normal, then people get upset. And now we've got really gone down a deep dive here into the mind of the psyche of a Homo sapien. But let's get back on track. We were talking
Oh.
about. Right,
What are
we
we
jumped in. We jumped into a big hole there. Let's get back into the succubus. Chef becomes engaged in this episode, and the reason why, how that relationship begins is Cartman comes back from the from the eye.
Eye doctor.
Cartman comes back from the eye doctor,
Mhm.
and now he's got glasses.
No, the first time he comes back, his eyes are just dilated.
Oh, you're right. His eyes are just dilated, and they're like, "Hey," he's like, "Hey, what's up, guys?" Then
What's wrong with your eyes?
he's
The
like,
doctor had to dilate him because he's a huge dick. Something like that.
It was like the doctor had to dilate my eyes, guys, because my eyes suck.
Cause my eyes sick.
like Cartman openly admits in this episode, yeah,
My eyes suck. My eyes suck. Not good. Not good.
so.
My eyes sick.
So the boys then are like, all right, well, whatever, dude. Let's go ask Chef about your problem, because Cartman talks about his douchey eye doctor, and the eye doctor's like, and his friends are like, well, why don't we just go to a different doctor? He's like, well, I can't. He's like, well, let's go talk to Chef and get an answer. So they walk into the lunchroom and they're like, hey, Chef, and then he turns around and it's not Chef Scoop, it's Mr.
Mr. Hi, kids. I got gray stuff and I got yellow stuff.
And they're like, what the fuck is going on? Like they have that like who's this kind of douche guy? You know what I mean? And so they asked Mr. Dirt, where is Chef? And he's like, I don't know, he left, but who cares? I'm Mr. Dirt. I get into all antics. Watch. And like he picks up a hammer, smashes his head in the hand. He's like, Chef is go. He's like, when I'm in the kitchen, you never know what nutty things are gonna happen. It's like if you like Chef, you're gonna love Mr. Dirt. And then you mentioned, yes, gang, I have yellow stuff or white stuff. Derp.
Mr.
And even but at that point, Cartman doesn't care. He's like,
Can I have some of the yellow with the side white?
he doesn't even care. He's like, I'm trying to get this food. Well, after that, they immediately cut over to Chef's house because now the boys are like, well, what the fuck is going on? We got to find out where's Chef. Right? So they jump over to Chef's house after school and discover that Chef's been getting it on with this white lady. And it's because they knock on the door.
They haven't been getting it on. They've just been token.
Oh, they've been talking.
They've just been token.
No, he had his towel on though.
But he was in the shower.
No, dude, come on.
No, they just been token. They didn't.
Whatever you want to believe, Chef was getting it anyway.
I don't know. He said that they were just token. Because the kids were like, "Oh, you made sweet love to her." He was like, "No, killer. We took all night long."
Interesting. Okay. You're sharing your screen with us now?
Am I?
Yeah.
How'd that
Live.
happen?
Live on Google. Let's look about Ian's background there. He's got some sort of house, some sort of bones coming out without looking at the logo because my screen is covering it. I'm not a gamer, so I'm gonna say it's either Magic or Elder Scrolls, possibly.
Nope.
Warcraft.
How do I turn that off?
My third. You probably have to click the button. Okay. Yep. Click. Nope. You're close. All right. Go. Yep. And then say stop sharing.
Oh,
There you go.
okay. Stupid. Okay.
Oh man, this show is off the rails. So after school, the boys go to Chef's and discover that he's been talking to a girl all night because they're like, Chef, where were you at school today? He's like, children, I quit my job. I don't work there no more. Well, why? Veronica has shown me that there is a better life. and he's like, oh, and then that's when I think when somebody asked, did you make sweet love to her? And no, children, we were up all night.
Token. Just token.
Just talking.
And she put it in my butt. What?
Veronica shows up and she's like, oh, hello, boys. And Kyle explains that normally when they go to Chef, he helps them with their problems, usually by singing to them. And she's like, and Cartman, Chef's like, well, Veronica's a pretty good singer too. So they start singing this song, which ends up being the theme throughout the episode. This is the Succubus enchantment song, which is there's got to be a morning after. You know what I'm saying?
If we hold on through the night, if we hold on through the night.
Anywho, so they don't really get the answer they're looking for as they walk off, and there is a moment of complacency with Stan, and he has a moment of reflection. He says to himself, "Hey guys, is it maybe instead of us, thinking that there's something wrong with this girl and she's taking her away from us, we're being immature and not recognizing the fact that we're just upset that, Chef's got someone else in his life, right?" And they all kind of pause for a moment. And Kyle's like, "Fuck that, dude." And everyone's like, yeah, man. Yeah, man. Screw that hippie, or whatever he said. And then so they all agree that they are going to get her, that there is something wrong with her. And you have to think on the boys' part as well, or in just any guy, girl, friend. If you meet somebody and you fall in love with them within 3 days, and then you're getting engaged with them within 5 to 6 days, might be something there. Might be something interesting. Might be something off. Might be something off. So I think the boys are, they have the best intentions in being cautious about this girl, about this woman. And it ends up being right, even when they think they're wrong. Like, just when they get their guard down later, that's when they find out. But
Just when they find out.
Just when they find out. So after this, the next day, the boys visit Chef at his new job, right? That's where we're at in the episode.
What was his new job?
Something, I don't know. They never really explained it, actually.
It's in an office, though, right?
It's an office setting. It was the first time we've seen Chef in an office setting. He's got on regular clothes. He's got an afro. Because his hair's combed. He's got his chef hat on the actual hat rack. I don't know if you noticed in the background.
I noticed that. That was funny.
That's how you could tell which cubicle was his. But you know what? I think it's time, Scoop. I think it's time. Do you agree?
For that moment. For that special moment.
All right. It's time for 1, 2, 3.
What
did Kenny
say? What did Kenny say? What did Kenny say?
Yeah, all right. What did Kenny say? I figure we get started here because Kenny's going to start having some big lines in this episode. So in the first part of the episode, Scoop, for what did Kenny say? They are waiting for Cartman at the bus stop, who just got his, I think, eyeglasses or eyes pupillated, right? And Kyle comes in and he says, "I wonder how come Cartman's not in school today?" And Stan goes, "Yeah, usually when he ditches school, he still shows up for lunch." And then Kenny says, "Maybe he took a dump and got sick." And the others laugh. And then that's Kyle. Oh, yeah, here he comes. So that would have been after he got his eyes dilated. So that was the first, what did Kenny say? Okay. Then we move on to the second one, and now they're at the office, and Stan walks up to the office lady, the secretary, administrative lady, gatekeeper, whatever you want to call her. Receptionist says, "We want to talk to Chef." And the receptionist says, "Chef?" And Kyle says, "He's a big guy with a beard." Stan's like, "Yeah, and a chef hat." And then Kenny says,
"And a real huge dick." Oh, the black guy. Huh?
Do you not know how to give nuances of jokes here? You're just blathering! You had to pause! And a chef hat, and a real huge dick! And then the receptionist says, "Oh, the black guy." And then that's when Stan goes, "Huh?" Which I think is good. Yeah, I mean, because, why would you, why would you jump to that conclusion? But I guess back in, this episode came out in April 21st, 1999. So, it was 21 years ago.
Huge dicks, dude.
That's what she's saying, I guess, or I guess that's how she recognized it. So later on, they are looking for. This is the biggest part of Kenny's lines, I'd say, so far. So they're looking for ways to like find out how to bring down the succubus, which we'll get to more here in the episode. But Kenny says ultimately, they find out that the succubi power enchants the victim with an eerie melody, and the playing the melody backwards can vanquish the succubus power itself. And Stan says, "What the hell does that mean?" And Kyle goes, "I don't know." And then Kenny goes, "Hey, you guys, I think I know precisely what it's saying. It says you gotta go and find a pile of records and get the one that has the entire lyrics, and then we gotta get into learning and rearranging them." And then Stan's like, right. Stan's all following him.
Right.
Kenny's like, and then we gotta go down and get a piece of paper, write down each one of the words we sang on the tape deck, and then sing it back again. But I think what he means to say is, and then sing it back backwards. Right, and then sing back the words backwards again. And Kenny goes, "That's what that means." And Stan goes, "Oh." And then Kyle goes, "Hey, yeah, what's that song she's always singing?" So
there's got to be a morning after if we can hold on through the night.
And ladies and gentlemen, well, that's what
Kenny said.
We would be remiss, Scoop, if we didn't bring up the fact before being escorted back to speaking with Chef again. It's at this point Cartman has now gotten the glasses. For as you see, when the boys were out and about, his mother came and picked him up prior to all this and said, "No, we have to go get your eyes checked up on now that it's been dilated." So he goes back to the doctor's office, puts the glasses on him. The doctor, he tries to tell the doctor, "Yeah, I'm just going to take these glasses off when I leave." And the dentist is like, "Yeah, I know. That's why we have the little stapler." And he staples the glasses onto Cartman's head. That's why we have the little stapler. I was like, that's fucked up. And yes, now we have Cartman with I'm a Little Piggy Funko Pop there for you. So check that out. But yes, now he's got the glasses on. He's got the little glass. He's got the glasses on. So now back in the doctor's office, or sorry, now back in the business office, which the boys and Chef. They go to confront Chef because Cartman doesn't know what to do. He can't take his glasses off. His friends were making fun of him. You know, like, "Dude, why don't you take the glasses off?" He's like, "I can't. It's staples in my head. It's staples in my head.
Just staples in my head."
It's in my head. So they're in the office building now, and Chef's like, "Well, why don't you get laser corrective surgery?" And they're like, "Oh yeah, that's a good idea." And he's like, "See, I can still help out. I can help you right here." And then he's like, "How about after school or later on, I'll play ball with you?" And they're like, "Yeah." And then, dude, they wait apparently all night, and in this time frame, Kenny dies once. Kenny dies twice in this episode. I don't know if you noticed. So the first time is here, as they're waiting for the bus stop, and it happens to be like in the nighttime. Kenny's just laying there, and a bunch of rats just start eating his body. And then it cycles through that frame, and then Kenny's alive again, and they're still waiting at the bus stop. So it's been 12 hours, and the boys go, "He ditched us, dude." So then they go, they go confront Chef at his house, and Chef is like, "Boys, me and Veronica are getting engaged." And now the boys are really like, no, fuck this. This chick is a succubus, right? Now they're really gung-ho more. So, but first they're upset because they go and ask Mr. Garrison for advice after class. And, and he's sitting there like, the Mr. Garrison's like, "Boys, what seems to be the issue?" And he's like, "Well, we go to Chef to ask, for help." And Mr. Garrison's like, "Well, boys, I think you'll find that I'm an educator and a man, that I could be just helpful, if not more than Chef."
All right, Mr. Garrison, have you ever had a friend who got a new girlfriend and then stopped being your friend and it pissed you off?
Oh, the old succubus syndrome.
What's a succubus?
A succubus is a woman sent from hell to suck the life out of a man.
That's it, yeah!
Yeah, there's not much you can do about a succubus. Their evil power makes man blind to love.
This is totally what's happening. Wow, you are smart, Mr. Garrison.
Yeah, I tell you, boys, women can kill. Poontang's expensive. That's why when it comes to chicks, I just screw them and leave them. I say, "Get out of my bedroom, Poontang, before you suck my life dry."
And so he tells him the problem about Chef. He's like, "Have you ever had a friend that, got a girlfriend and ditched you and blah, 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 blah. And he says, oh, yeah, that's a succubus.
Yeah, succubus.
A female demon sent from hell to suck the life out of men. And she just screws them and leaves them. And the boys tell Garrison, yeah, dude, that's exactly what she is. And he's like, he's a succubus, boys. You gotta get that. That's why I always say you gotta screw him and get the hell out of there. And they're like, thanks, Mr. Garrison. And then afterwards, Mr. Hat's like, you're not fooling anybody. And so it looks like there was a heavy implication in this episode that he was gay, right? I mean, we got the Dr. Katz thing before.
We learned early on. There's heavy implication that he's gay. That he's hiding something.
Even Mr. Garrison in the jailhouse during the cow days with Chef. I warn you, Chef. You can't I will not let you take advantage of me. What? So yes, there have been clues, but in this one, this is his actual.
This is a straight giveaway.
This is himself technically saying it out loud, like you're not fooling anybody. So
basically admitting to himself that
he's identifying with himself in this episode. Yeah. Let me ask you a question. Not to deviate again here, as we definitely dove deep here in the beginning part of the episode. I don't even know if that's going to be edited in. I might cut that out because we went down a rabbit hole. But let me ask you this: have you ever had a succubus? Or have you ever had friends who have been in with a succubus and you're like, that girl's going to do him dirty. And then she ends up doing him dirty. And then at the end, your friend or you are like, told you she going to do you dirty.
Yes, both. Like, I had one and I had a friend that had one. Dude, they're dirty, man. They do you dirty. Like, getting checked for STDs dirty. Oh yeah, that's scary. Dirty.
That's not good. That's nasty dirty.
Yeah, boy, don't be putting your dick in no succubus. Tell you that right now.
I meant more like kind of fucking with your mind and overall like taking over your life and ditching your friends. You know what I mean? Have you been around people like that? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or have you dated girls that wanted you to do that?
Mm-hmm. Nice.
And have you made that conformity?
No, dude. You know me. You know I'm like, fuck you, bro. Fuck you, bro.
No, you were pretty good. You never really did that conformity. That's for sure. I will say I've never been like that either. You know me in general. I'm just like, no, I do what I want.
Bitch.
I'm like, I do what I want. So I'll be over when I'm over, or I'll be with you guys, and I would just be like, all right, guys, I gotta go. Bye. Like, and I usually do that on my own accord. So that's how I am. Someone called me a vagabond on Facebook.
I don't know what that is.
A vagabond is someone who moves from place to place with no real home, who just continues to move place to place, meeting new people and establishing new relationships and living in different areas. And
is that good or bad? I don't know.
It's depending on who you are, I guess. For me, in this case, it's good. For Middle Easterners right now, between the border of Israel and Palestine, that's not good. So I guess it really depends on where you're looking at it, right? Yeah, I just dropped some heavy knowledge on there on the South Park podcast, huh? Got you and listeners all thinking, they're like, damn, fucking Matt talking about South Park and he has to drop an Israel-Palestine reference here. Motherfucker. Anyway, so as we mentioned, the boys were pissed that Chef didn't want to hang out with them. But after telling them he's getting engaged, they're even more enraged. So the boys go to tell Chef that Veronica is a succubus. And at this point now, Cartman is once again dragged away by his mom to go get laser corrective surgery. Cartman's like, come on, man, I want you to go with you guys and tell the Chef that he's a succubus. He's like, well, no, honey. So he leaves and they go into the parents' house, or they go into Chef's house, where his parents are now there. They've shown up from Ireland. And this is where we get the first introduction of, damn you, Loch Ness Monster. I was trying to come up and get $3.50. $3.50. That's why I said you need to come back here.
You gave him $3.50 last week. Damn it, woman. That's why he keep coming back. You keep giving him $3.50.
You keep giving him $3.50.
Oh, must have been about 7, 8 years ago. Me and the little lady was out on this boat, you see, all alone at night. When all of a sudden this huge creature, this giant crustacean from the Paleolithic era comes out of the water.
We was so scared, Lord, I mother, I jumped up in the boat and I said, Thomas, what on earth is that creature?
It stood above us looking down with these big red eyes.
Oh, it was so scary.
And I yelled, I said, what do you want from us, monster? And the monster bent down and said, I need about $3.50.
You keep giving him $3.50.
Well, I was just trying to be nice, so I gave him $1.
Here I go again. Chef came running up to me. I said, what's up, Chef, my boy? He said, Papa, I need about $3.50. And I said, Chef, what do you need $3.50 for? And he said, my imaginary dinosaur friend need $3.50. And that's when I went in, when I walked in the room, and I was expecting it.
He does.
Goddamn Russia. And it was $3.50.
No, you gotta do the whole pause, like the whole face. And I said, wait a minute. I need about $3.50.
Wait a minute. I need about $3.50. Papa, I need about $3.50. And that's when I started to suspect.
Wait, hold on, my turn. And then there was this other time when a little girl came up to the door and she knocked on the door and she was in a little Girl Scout outfit. Oh, she looks so cute, a little Girl Scout outfit with little hat and pigtails. And she says here, and her little hat and pigtails. I'm like, and I'm thinking, what do you mean pigtails? Because the next second, and it was at this very moment, the Girl Scout cookie said, well, I got some cookies here, but I need about $3.50. And it was at this moment I went, wait a minute. I looked up, and this little Girl Scout cookie, this little Girl Scout channel was 10 feet tall. And I was asking myself, damn, you luck that money. Why you all trying to get $3.50?
Damn, you love that money. I was trying to get $3.50.
I gave him $3.50.
I gave him $1 last week. Damn it, woman. That's why he keep coming back here, because you keep giving him money.
Yes, guys, if you can tell, this is one of our top episodes in our lineup because of this character, $3.50. $3.50.
Yeah. Definitely get introduced to the $3.50.
Oh, it's even more so. It's just the wife is better because she's always there background. He's like telling the story. Damn, you love that mother. And she'll be in the background.
Yeah, $3.50. That's what I tried to tell him.
I tried to tell you.
I tried to tell him.
Like, and this will be the first time we're introduced to him because we won't see him again for years.
Yeah, we don't see him for a long time.
We don't see him again until Kenny dies, and she.
Hold on, gotta go get my pot, bro. So he's coming over here making a mess in my house.
When they go to Scotland. But yes, she's a great character, guys. If you have not seen this episode, you have seen this episode, I implore you to just make yourself laugh today by going and finding that scene where Stan, Kyle, and Kenny have to sit through hours and hours at Lapierre's Bio. Damn you luck! That's my dog trying to come and take my $3.50. You're trying to come in here. He does, and that's he. And another time when the Loch Ness monster come out, and this happens throughout the whole episode. Like he keeps telling stories about this Loch Ness monster. So at this point, the boys get pissed. They leave. They're like, okay, whatever. So they go back home, or they go back to Cartman's house. Who now they're like, Cartman, where the hell have you been? He's like, well, guys, I can't see, because he's after going to the eye doctors, who makes fun of him some more, puts him under gas. Knocks him out, gives him laser corrective surgery, but now he can't see, obviously, for a couple of days, as one would imagine. He's laying in bed, and they're chastising him. Why didn't you come help? And he's like, well, I can't see, you dumbasses. What the hell would you expect? Tom broke off here? Like, what do you expect? I can't do anything. And so they tell Cartman that they think that she's a succubus. Well, it's at this point that Cartman's mom does show up and knocks on the door and goes, hey, you've got a visitor here. Is that okay? So she comes in, and it's the succubus itself, Veronica. And she at first explains to them, like, hey, it seems like that, you guys are upset with me, blah, blah, blah. But in normal situations, it happens with all relationships, right? With all friends, your guys or girls get relationships and they start spending time with other people. Right.
Trying to play it off like it's normal.
Right. And at this point, they're not lying. It's the truth. I mean, that is the truth of the matter. If you have a girlfriend, Scoop, I'm not going to be like, bro, you got to not hang out with her, bro. Fuck that. Like, I'm not gonna tell you that,
But come on, dude, she sucks my pee-pee.
But I'll tell you what, like now, if I was like out and about and your lady was like running some illegal gambling ring, I might be like, bro, you need to get out of this shit. Like that. Like, the fuck out
Or
of this
like,
shit.
or we could be like, or hear me out. We could have a lot of fun with it.
No, don't get caught. No. Anyway, I would give you reasons not to. I'd be like, really? What's Marley gonna think? Yeah? What's Marley gonna think? My daddy's
him.
behind bars. Yeah, exactly. Dad got him. Swoosh.
Yes.
So, as we mentioned, the girl, Veronica kind of convinces him at this point. She's like, you know what? The boys are like, okay, you know what? You're right. That makes sense, right? But before she
leaves, like she's got them convinced at this point.
I
She
don't
should just
understand why she revealed herself.
Right? Like this is a point in the episode that I don't like. Because they could have played with it a little bit more. They could have had her just leave. And that could have left the boys, and then like Kenny could have been like, I don't know, you know what I mean? Like Kenny could have been like, or Cartman could have been like, oh no, guys, that's tell me your voice, that's time out, man. No, guys, my eyes are gone, my ears are heightened. You know, some stupid like fun that they could have played with and like prolong it a little bit. But the fact that she just turns around and just evil. You know?
Yeah, so essentially what happens is, right as you mentioned, she's got them convinced, and then just as she's about to leave, she transforms into the succubus demon and says, "You cannot stop me from marrying Chef." Or boys, I'm going to marry Chef, and there's nothing you can do to stop me. And all of a sudden, you see like Stan and Kyle are like, "Whoa, dude!" And then Kenny pulls his jacket. Kenny pulls his jacket tight close, and then Cartman goes, "Which one?" Because they're like freaked out.
Yeah.
So now the next day, or maybe it was alternatively later on, at the party before the wedding, which would be your rehearsal dinner, the boys do storm in and tell everyone that Veronica is a succubus, which makes her cry. At the same time, it's at this point, was it Chef's parents, Thomas and Nellie McElroy? Or McElroy? Because they're Scottish, right? McElroy. So it's at this point, they're still telling stories about the chef. 350. That's the story you were alluding to there. Bap, could say shit.
No, here we go. I told myself what we're going to do. I remember when Chef was a little boy. He came in a Papa. I said, Chef, my boy, what is it? He said, Papa. I need about 350. And at this point, that's when I walked in Chef's room. No, he goes, I need 350 for my imaginary dinosaur. And at this point, I started to smack. So I go into a room, and now it's goddamn long in my time for 350.
Oh, this is a good point in the episode. So so after the boys apparently make the succubus cry, Chef's like, "You need to get out of here. This is my wedding." He's even all polite. Now, if you'll excuse us, we got rehearsals.
No, if you'll excuse us.
We're gonna party continue. And so now they go back to Cartman's room, and that's where one of what the Kennys say. We mentioned that they learn that the way to defeat this succubus is to take her enchantment song and sing it backwards. And at one point, they're like, Cartman's like falling asleep in the middle of the night while they're trying to figure it out, and they're like, "Cartman, you can't fall asleep." And he's like, "You know what? I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. Screw Chef. I'm going to bed." I'm going to take. So he starts to fall asleep, and that's when Kenny and Kyle, all of them, figure out that how you do the succubus. And Stan's like, "We got 3 hours to learn it." So in that 3 hours, they learned it, and because now they're at the service, and everyone's staying calm until the wedding vows are going. And they want Cartman. The plan is to play the tape of the song's music backwards. And they wait for them to say their I do's. And just before they're about to sing their vows, I think is what the minister said they were going to do. And Stan and Kyle have moved to another part of the church, and they stopped the recording of their song because they were playing "It's Got to Be a Morning After" again. They were going to start singing it to each other. So basically she was going to maybe try and continue to lock in that hypnosis, right? Mm-hmm. And the boys stopped that record from playing. They hit play, and they start singing the song backwards. And as they start singing the song backwards, that's when this, like, at first, like, Chef's like, "What the hell are you doing, boys? Get out of here! You're ruining my wedding!" And then all of a sudden, bro, she fucking. Yeah, she turns into like a disgusting demon because they started singing
with saggy titties too, dude.
She turns into like a demon, and she starts singing. The Stan and Kyle are like singing, "Light for the looking on, let's keeping going. The fine two chance that we have night. The two on." And then they keep singing, and they eventually do rap on saying, "The two on hold, can we, if after morning be to God, there's warm and a safe." That's so they're literally singing it backward. That's hard, dude. And
warm and safe. That's place of find and giving. Oh, together bridge the cross we don't why. Storm the outside right waiting. It's after morning. The sea you can't oh. Light the for looking on keeplets.
Right. The toe on if we can after be morning to be got to. There's warm and safe, there's ground. And then that's when a flame opens up, appears, and the sucker just drops down into the hole. And the flames leave with her. And Chef just like walks up looking dismissed over the hole. And Mr. Garrison's like, he sits up in his pew and he goes, "Woo, wow, you don't see that every day."
That's not something you see every day.
And it looked like another, but the way he popped up, there was a dude like sitting there. Did it look like he popped up after giving this dude a blowjob? Or was it just he was hiding?
Kind of.
Right? That was my side. Well, Chef says he's dismissed, and Stan says, "We're sorry, Chef, we had to do it." And Chef's like, "No, I'm glad you did it, children. Now that she's gone, I can't really figure out ever what I saw in her." Mr. Garrison's like, "Poontang." And Chef's like, "Come on, children, let's get some ice cream," which I thought was nice. A little callback. Ice cream!
Ice cream!
And Stan and Kyle are like, "Hooray!" And Cartman's like, what happened to you guys? Is Kenny okay?" Because this whole time, Cartman's got the blind, his eyes are still like blindfolded up, and Kenny has died because when the succubus appears, it's causing a rampage in the church and it kills Kenny. So that's the second time Kenny dies.
That's right.
And then Chef says, "How would you like some fish sticks and tater tots?" And this is I think, was that the next day at school, or was that right away
that's
after?
the next day after school.
Okay. So after they get ice cream there, to assume they got ice cream, the next day at school, Chef's like, "Hey, how would you like some fish sticks and tater tots?" And Stan's like, "We'd love them." And Kyle's like, "It's great to have you back, Chef." And then Chef breaks into a song. He's like, "Yeah, well, I learned a very important lesson this week that sometimes you fall in love and sometimes you feel that way forever. You change your life, you don't know your friends could think of getting better, but then your love goes awry no matter what. It doesn't stay as strong and left you nothing because you're ticking with your dong. So watch out for that love bug. It can destroy like a typhoon wind. And just play it cool and don't be a fool," Mr. Garrison says, "and never let Poontang come between you and a friend." And then Chef's like, "Damn right, Garrison."
Damn right.
That's how it fades out. And then the episode has two more things how it ends with first Cartman showing up with Kenny's dead frozen head now, asking the doctor
eye transplant.
to get an eye transplant. And it was weird.
Doctor's like, you got treatment?
He killed it, but Dr. Locke says, "Was he an organ donor?" And Cartman's like, "Yeah, sure." And Dr. Locke's, "All right, then let's get to work." And he's like, "Say, you don't have to have $3.50 on you, do you?" And then then it goes that song, "Light the for looking on keep let's," anyway. And that's how the episode ends. So that, ladies and gentlemen, was the full episode of season 3, episode number 4 of this season, which is second base. Actually, this was season 3, episode 3. Sorry, second base. All right, so let's go ahead. We're going to get into some pop trivia here. So Chef was at the library looking up books on Kama Sutra at the beginning of the episode. He mentions, and that's how he met Veronica, which is an ancient Hindu text that is the standard of human sexuality. Ooh. The receptionist at Steinberg and Bergstein mistakes Cartman for the little boy. Oh, I forgot to mention this. When Cartman and all them walk into the chef's new work, Cartman's got the glasses. So the receptionist says, "Hey, aren't you the little boy from the movie Jerry Maguire?" And then Cartman's like, "Yeah, sure." And she's like, "Wow, you got fat." Cartman's like, "Hey, yeah." So that was funny. And by the way, for those who don't know what Jerry Maguire is a film that came out in 1996, features Tom Cruise, Cuba Gooding Jr. Not Cuba Gooding Jr. Is it Cuba Gooding Jr.? Is that who's in it?
I don't know.
Yeah, it's Cuba Gooding Jr. He plays the wide receiver, the football player, the main guy. And then Jay Moore's in it. He plays the antagonist, Tom Cruise's enemy, if you were, his rival, the rival agent. You not ever seen Jerry Maguire? What? You've never seen Jerry Maguire?
No, I never wanted to.
Why not?
I don't know.
Bro, it's like the perfect movie to watch with your girl because you get sports and she gets her chick flick shit. It's like a perfect combination. It's like somebody who was like thinking about it was like, yo, how can I make a movie? It's like both for dudes and both for chicks. Okay, we'll start this movie off with the sex scene. So the very first like opening is Tom Cruise banging this hot blonde chick. And then he works as an agent in the NFL draft or for NFL teams and whatnot. So like the storyline goes at the beginning is that he's getting dropped from his agency because Jay Moore is sniping him. And then, bro, you want to talk about famous lines? I know you've seen Half Baked, right? In the scene where the guy goes, all I want to know is who's coming with me, man? Who's coming with me? That's from Jerry Maguire. That's a direct ripoff from Jerry Maguire because Tom Cruise says it on the way out. He goes, I just want to know who's coming with me. And he's like walking around. Everybody's quiet. He's like, who's coming with me? And it culminates in a love story with Renee Zellweger. It's a great movie, bro. You should watch it with your lady. It's a perfect movie for you to watch with your lady, to be quite honest. And you're dying over there. So... But that being said, watch that movie with your lady. You'll enjoy it. You'll thank me later. There's a lot of good lines in the movie. At one point, and with Cuba Gooding Jr., who's Jerry Maguire's lone NFL player that he's still representing, that he manages to hang on to, he's like yelling him out of the phone, "Show me the money! Come on, say it with me, Jerry. Say it with me. Show me the money!" There's a lot of good one-liners in that movie that people steal from. So it's a cult classic, bro. It won Best Picture. That's what I'm saying. I can't believe you've never seen this movie. Go watch Jerry Maguire. Anyway, the optometrist continuously insults Eric Cartman, calling him a piggy. And that's possibly a reference to the character Piggy in the book Lord of the Flies. Did you ever read Lord of the Flies when you were in middle school or high school? You did? I think everybody read that book, right? Or everybody faked it. Everybody fakes reading it. I know some people would fake reading it. And you can just watch the movie or something. You know, yeah, I read it. Good. But the movie's actually not bad. I watched the movie before I actually read the book. In the 6th grade, I took this. I was in California, and in my middle school, really good middle school, we had this class called Film and Society. So where we would actually watch movies, and it was elective. I'm not sorry, 6th grade, 7th grade, because you couldn't take it as a 6th grader. But 7th grade, you also had to get approved to get into the class. Because it was, I mean, if you think about it, a very lax class to have as a kid. You're watching fucking movies. So, like, there's a lot more responsibility in that regard because you're basically going to be able to be chilling and watching this movie and giving thoughts. You got to be mature about it. You know what I mean? You can't be fucking around in this class. And it was a good time. So I watched that movie, Lord of the Flies, then. But then I remember reading it years later, I think 9th or 10th grade in high school for... maybe my English class, I think is what it was. I think it's an English lit requirement, one of those books where they make you read shit and write on it. Man, you're hacking up a storm over there, bro. So let's move on again. Mr. Garrison is teaching his students about the sitcom The Facts of Life. Did you watch The Facts of Life? You're on mute. Okay. Well, The Facts of Life, Mr. Garrison makes a number of references to in the series. Okay, now I'm just gonna start laughing at Ian because he's been fucking coughing here on video. For those not watching this on YouTube, you're not gonna understand. But Ian is literally dying on the other side right now, and you can see it on YouTube. Like he's crying from coughing, not like crying from pain. Just he's coughed so much he's starting to tear up and cry. Anyway, so Mr. Garrison goes on to exclaim that he states that Tootie left in the fourth season. Now, Dorothy, that being Tootie Rosemary, was a character played by the actress Kim Fields. In reality, she was on the series for all of 9 seasons, appearing in a total of 200 episodes, and I believe she went on to do porn. So look that up. He states that Joe and Blair on the show got married, leaving season 4 and 5 stagnant. Joanne, aka Joe, was played by actress Nancy McKeon and was also on the show for its entire run. Her character Joe does not get married to Rick Bonner in the episode Till Marriage Do Us Part. Blair Warner was played by Lisa Whelchel, but her character never got married on the series as well. I like how they take liberties. Mr. Garrison's always making shit up about shows and things that happen, like with the Love Boat and this show, like things that just never have actually happened. South Park just changes around and goes, well, they got married on blah, 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 blah. So, are you okay? Are you feeling okay now? Oh, still got the coppers?
Yeah, I'm fine. Dude, that dad fucking murdered me. I don't know.
Dad fucking took you off your rocker. As I mentioned earlier, mockingly called Stan Tom Brokaw. Tom Brokaw was the lead anchor on NBC Nightly News from 1982 to 2004, bro. That's a fucking long time. I mean, that means he was on NBC 5 years before you were born, 6 years before I was born. And then he was on the air for 16 more. God damn. The song playing while Veronica's walking down the aisle, we mentioned, this is actually the classic bridal chorus from the opera Lohengrin, composed by Richard Wagner around 1850. Just a marriage song, Bum, bum, ba-da, bum, bum. Anyway, this painting of Jan van Eyck's The Arnolfinal Marriage, created in 1434, can be seen on Mr. Garrison's wall. The song sung by Veronica and subsequently backwards to defeat her is The Morning After by Maureen McGovern. Have you ever heard that song? It's got to be Morning After before that episode.
I didn't know it was a real song. That's until I looked up the lyrics.
Yeah.
It's funny though.
Well, it's funny. All right, well, that is the pop culture. So let's go ahead and get into some trivia. So in this episode is one of the first, as we mentioned, Scoop, to strongly hit the Mr. Garrison is gay. We got the hat. It was like, you're not fooling anybody.
I'm not fooling nobody.
We're eventually going to see a breakdown of Garrison. I believe it's this season and the next season. Because I think it's this season they jump into the 4th grade, right?
Yep.
I want to say. So we're going to see a mental breakdown of Garrison. That'll happen after the movie as well, which we actually will be reviewing at some point here in the next couple weeks. Keep. For those who don't know, maybe you don't play Magic the Gathering, maybe you're not up to mythical gods, horror, whatever. A succubus is a demon of mythical origin. It's the female equivalent of an incubus. It's a female demon that tempts men into committing acts of sin and fornication, and its intentions are to steal the souls of men through sexual contact. However, mythology does state that the succubus exists in the dreams of men, not normally appearing as a physical being. As we mentioned, Kenny dies twice in this episode. The first is when the boys are waiting for Chef, and the second is when he was crushed by the succubus. This was the first, and only
Mr. Derp.
Mr. Derp.
I'm Mr. Derp.
Now it
They
does
should have
say,
murdered him in like a horror fucking bad way.
Now I will actually let me retract that initial statement. It's not the only time we see Mr. Derp. It is the only time he's actually prevalent on screen. It has lines, as throughout the rest of the entirety of this show, Mr. Derp is now just used as a background character. So you might be able to catch him in some future episodes if you look at, even in this season, newer seasons, they reuse a lot of background characters. So you might find him. Could be working as a hot dog stand somewhere. I don't know. Now, in the original Comedy Central commercial for this episode, Veronica Crabtree was actually shown as the new chef. Isn't that interesting? That Mrs. Crabtree was actually shown as the new chef, but the school bus driver.
That's funny.
Look that up.
Really?
Cartman's. Go ahead.
So then they said no.
Yeah. Cartman, his eyes, he has what's called astigmatism, which is an ocular problem, which makes it difficult to focus on objects. Oh, you do?
One eye is blurrier than the other.
Okay. Well, Chef's father is convinced that he is being tormented by the Loch Ness Monster, a creature said to live in the Lake Loch Ness in Scotland. Now, according to Chef's dad, the Loch Ness Monster... The Loch Ness Monster is a crustacean from the Pacific area. Crustaceans are sea creatures like the shrimp or krill, which is actually inconsistent, as popular Loch Ness myths identifies the creature as being a surviving Paleosaurus, being an aquatic reptile that existed during the Mesozoic era, which ended 65 million years ago, versus the Proterozoic era, which ended roughly 542 million years ago. At the end of this episode, Cartman's optometrist asks him if he has 350, possibly meaning, Scoob, that he is the monster in disguise, or they're just continuing the joke. So that was our pop culture and trivia. That was What Did Kenny Say? That was your full episode recap. Now, let's get into our top likes and top dislikes. Scoop, my top like is I need about 350. What is your top like of this?
Same thing. I need about 350.
I need about 350. Okay.
I need about 350.
I'd say my second like in this episode was at the beginning of the episode when the when the optometrist makes him read off the card off the optometrist's arm. I am a little piggy. Hey! Oh, how'd that get on there? Oh, my bad.
Oh, I am a little piggy. Oh, how did that?
Oh, let me get that right out here. Sorry about that. So I like that. What's another moment you liked in this episode?
Fuck. Shit, we just talked about one.
Really?
Well, like I said at the beginning, this isn't, and we just kind of
actually, we didn't actually talk about that actually.
Yeah, I know.
So Scoop, it looks like here you might not have had a lot of moments in this episode that you liked.
Not really.
So what about tell me then you disliked? Let's go in there. What are some things you didn't like about this episode?
So the one when we were talking about, they could have had a little bit more fun with Veronica when she convinced the boys that she was normal, but then she turns right the fuck around like, guess what? I'm ready to soul. And I was like, dude, man, we could have had a little bit more fun with it. I didn't like the way that played out.
Okay. I will say for our third top like then, and we'll put it together. I mean, I gave you a softball. You could have just said Mr. Derp. Mr. Derp. That would have been an easy like. That's my next like. Mr. Derp. I'll give you a top dislike. Well, I'll give you a dislike. I didn't like in the episode. I didn't like that. Was it? I didn't really like I didn't like the fact that the optometrist could get away with being an asshole to Cartman like that. You know what I mean? Because, like, if a doctor spoke to a kid like that in any form or fashion like that, like, especially in 2020 now, that kid would have a fucking meltdown. Now, granted, I get it was back in 96, but still, it's just, I didn't like the way he spoke to him, calling him fat like that. You're supposed to be a doctor. Like, he could, if he had used medical terms and said, you're a very obese young man, you know what I mean? Or something like that, that'd be different. But he was calling him piggy and fatty. It's a little mean. Calling a kid, and he doesn't really know who Cartman is. And that's another thing I didn't like, is how come Cartman doesn't get revenge? Granted, we haven't gotten to the stage yet where Cartman's really taking his revenge on people. But why didn't he do something to this optometrist? So that's another one of my top dislikes. Do you have any other top dislikes?
The song.
You didn't. That's right. You don't like "It's Got to Be a Morning After." It is an annoying song. Yeah, put that there. That's a top dislike. But on the flip side, I will say I like the boys' version when they flipped it around and sing it backwards. Right. So that's So it's interesting that we liked the flip around the variation version, but we didn't actually like the classic version of "There's Got to Be a Morning After." Probably in my case, I've actually heard that song a number of times. And I've heard it covered a number of times by different bands. It's an easy song to cover. So, anything else we'd like or dislike, Scoop? Here, I mean, you know what? How about Mr. Garrison? Mr. Garrison was good in this episode. I liked him.
Mr. Garrison, yeah, I liked him.
He had some good comedy spots here. Never let Poontang come between friends. And that's true. You never really should let Poontang ever come between friends.
Poontang's expensive.
And for ladies, you should never let Dick come between whatever ladies want to call themselves. I don't want to use.
Yeah. There was this video that I saw where this guy just completely destroys it. Go ahead, my bad.
Destroys what?
Women. He's like, when women call men trash, it's like, well, maybe you're the one picking it from the menu, so maybe we're not the problem. Maybe it's you're the problem.
I don't know. I think everyone's trash, so that's the problem.
Nobody matters. Nobody
matters. Everybody sucks. But okay, well that's it. That's our top dislike. Scoop. Did this make Scoop's top 20?
Maybe my top 100.
Ooh. Are you just not letting me build up to anything today? I'm trying to set you up for things. I was gonna say top 50, then I would have gone top 100. You're not letting me get the punchlines out on the joke today. God damn it, Scoop! God.
My bad.
Anyway, I love you. This is not in my top 100. This is top 200.
Top 200.
Top 200. It's a good episode. Not bad. It's got some moments, but and of course it's got a Funko out of it. I mean, this is really the only thing that comes out of this episode.
I'm a little pig. Hey.
So, but other than that, nothing else, guys. So I think that's it, Scoot. That's we're done. We've wrapped up another edition. Bad. Of course, you can follow us on Twitter and on Instagram at SuckMyBallsPod. Find us on Facebook at South Park Pod. Email us at suckmyballspod@gmail.com. We are hosted, of course, on Rat Salad Review, Hameen Media Group.podbean.com. But we would encourage you to please like us, share us, follow us on our own personal feed on Suck My Balls. If you just search a South Park Review on all of your podcast outlets, we are distributed by Anchor specifically. So you'll find us there. You'll hear our little Anchor ad, my little Anchor ad at the top of the show. Please, check it out. Let us know what you think of our show. If you have any feedback, comments, content, and you'd like to see anything else here from us at Suck My Balls, South Park Review. Scoop, do you have any words of wisdom you want to let the listeners know before we end our show today?
Love you guys.
That's Scoop's words of wisdoms for this episode of Check My. We're back next week, guys. Another edition of Suck My Balls. Peace.
Peace.
What is that?
It's my bone!
God damn it, Cartman!
How would you like to suck my balls?
What did you say?
I'm sorry. Actually, what I said was... How would you like to suck my balls, Mr. Garrison?
Holy shit, dude.